This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's number one show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Few technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, but I apologize about that. But we're here. And tonight is a big night. The Knicks have a chance to close out the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's not going to be easy. We already know that. It's going to be a difficult task, but they have the opportunity to do so. Josh, my man, Uncle Fulio, what's popping with you, my brother? And how are you feeling about tonight?
Salute, Sam. Salute to the chat. Salute to the NBK family. I feel good. And I already know what Simba's going to say, everybody. And I already know. I'm going to just let it out. He's going to say, I don't want to see it go to a game 6. I want them to finish the deal tonight.
I do.
And I feel the same way.
I do.
And I feel the same way.
I want them to finish it tonight. Don't play no games with them.
Right? Exactly.
Because, you don't get it done tonight. Now, in their mind, they're saying, because let's put it like this. Everyone in the world looks at it and says they got to win 3 games, which they do. But really, they just got to win 2. Right? Because the 7th game, both teams are in the same exact situation. Right? Both teams is do or die. And who knows what can happen in that game. So really, they just got to win 2. So if they win 1 tonight, you give them 1. Now, in their mind, they're like, all we got to do is win 1 game. And then anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got to the Knicks got to get it done tonight. You can't take any chances. You can't play around. Get it done. Right. Look, I feel like we're the better team. I have felt like, I'm not going to lie, after game 2, I was a little bit shocked that Cleveland came with the type of physicality that they did. And I wasn't sure if they were going to continue. And I wasn't sure how the Knicks were going to respond because we haven't seen this team here before. Right? So I just wasn't sure. But when this series started, before the series started, in my mind, they're even. These are 2 evenly matched teams. When I started the breakdown video, I was like, the Knicks are better than these guys. Like, I legitimately felt like the Knicks were better. And game 1 proved it. Well, at least proved it to me. And then game 2, I wavered a little bit. I still felt like the Knicks were better, but I wasn't sure how and where they were mentally. You know what I mean? And then, of course, games 3 and 4, the Knicks took control of the series, but they got to get it done. I feel like the Knicks are the better team. First time in this situation. I feel like their heads are on straight. They're focused, but they got to get it done tonight. Don't take no chances messing around with the Cleveland Cavaliers because you just don't know what can happen if you give a team a chance.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think New York is the better team. I think we, throughout the up and down the lineup, up and down the rotation, all the starters collectively, along with the bench unit collectively as a group together, we have the better 9 or 10 players than Cleveland does, right? Now, they're very top-heavy, obviously Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland. But outside of that, Jared Allen really hasn't been performing that well. Evan Mobley's been doing really good defensively, but offensively, he's been a no-show. And they really don't have anybody else that can really put the ball in the hole. So I agree with you. I think New York is the better team, and we got to definitely show that tonight on the road. Let's close it out in Cleveland. I know I predicted this series to go to 6 games, and the Knicks are going to take it out. But right now we have the opportunity to close it out, get some extra rest. Mm-hmm. Because, maybe next round, it can come sooner rather than later, or that can extend all the way out to 7 games. That gives the Knicks the advantage from a rest standpoint to get some guys back healthy. So Close it out tonight. We ain't got to worry about all the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the Miami Heat are kind of in the same situation with the Milwaukee Bucks. You know what I mean? Right. So if they close it out, whenever I don't know, when do they play? Tomorrow, I'm assuming. If they close it
Right.
out,
Yep.
then, both teams, and if they and the Knicks both close it out, both teams are looking at the same situation as far as rest is concerned. What the Knicks don't want to do is not close it out, and then Miami and Milwaukee, Miami closes out Milwaukee, right? You don't want to be sitting around. You don't want to be playing a physical basketball game while the Miami Heat are sitting and resting, right? Because we know the Miami Heat, they need the rest.
Oh yeah.
Just based on, everything that's going on in their series. They definitely need the rest. And the Knicks need the rest too, but, they don't want to give Miami any, if it's going to be Miami, they don't want to give Miami anything, any advantage. And the Knicks need
Miami
every
plays tonight,
advantage.
by the way.
Oh, they play tonight. I didn't
Yeah,
see it.
9:30.
Okay, so we could be looking at our round 2 matchup. The Knicks and Miami could both be looking at each other by the end of the night. You know what I mean? But what do you see the Knicks got to do to win tonight?
Hit shots. Simple and plain, Sim. Hit shots. I think both teams have defended each other well.
Mm-hmm.
I think the difference between us and Cleveland right now has been the rebounding, right? But, and Cleveland hasn't been that good of a rebounding team all year, but they still have big bodies down there who can defend and who can rebound individually, right? Collectively as a unit, they haven't been doing that. So I just want the Knicks to hit shots. We're shooting sub 35% from the field, sub 30% from three, right? And that's horrible. Right. We've been getting second chance points. We've been helping our ability to score. But if the Knicks are knocking down our open shots, I think this game is going to be over. And I think it's going to be over early. Right. So we just got to, do that. Continue doing what we've been doing the previous games as far as from the defensive standpoint. And I think we got it.
Yeah. Why are the Knicks not hitting these open shots? I mean, we came into the series hitting shots, shooting well, right? Offense looking good. Series hits, obviously we know defense changes when the playoffs come and all of that kind of stuff. But the Knicks are still getting some open shots.
Yep.
Sometimes wide open. And they're just not hitting them. Why do you think this is?
Personally, Sim, I think when we've seen the Knicks, the acquisition of Josh Hart, right? Since that move right there, the Knicks have been one of probably the best offense in the NBA, right? And I think when Josh Hart comes in the game, the tempo picks up a little bit more. The Knicks are getting in transition a little bit more. And then I think that starts the trickle-down effect of the Knicks knocking down their shots in the half court. I just think something about them gets going. They feel more confident and they knock those shots down. In these games, the games have been going so slow, right? And the Knicks have been playing half court for the most part, not really getting on in transition as much as they did during that last part of the season. And I think they've just been really slow starters in that regard. So I'm going to leave it up to, I'm going to say that it goes back to the style of play more than anything. Mm-hmm. I think the Knicks getting in transition, I think that'll jumpstart them and give them a little bit more confidence to knock down those shots. I think that's what it is. And so far, the Knicks have not been doing that.
Yeah,
they've been doing it at times in transition, getting some easy buckets, especially for RJ, getting him out in transition. But for the most part, it's just been slow, half court, from tip. You know what I mean? And we just haven't been able to establish a rhythm from there.
Right. Throughout the playoffs so far, 4 games, the Knicks have averaged 98 points per game. 98 points per game. They've shot 42.8% from the field and 27.5% from the three-point line.
Wow, I thought it was less than that.
Okay. I mean, we don't need to know lower. Shoot, 27.5%. Yeah. 17.5 assists. Field goal attempts for the Knicks, 83.5. All right, 83.5 field goal attempts. That's 13th. There's only 16 teams in the playoffs. That's 13th. Cleveland Cavaliers, though, only averaging 79.3 shot attempts. All right, the only other team lower than them are the Brooklyn Nets, who are eliminated, 77.3 shot attempts. Now, one of the teams that the Knicks could be facing, the Miami Heat, their offense is humming. All right? Check this out. The Knicks are 13th in the playoffs in shot attempts at 83.5. The Miami Heat are 12th in shot attempts at 84.8, but they're averaging 123 points per game. Number one in the playoffs right now.
Wow.
They're shooting 54% from the field. They're shooting 47% from the three-point line. They're averaging 25 assists per game. All right, their offense is on a roll right now in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Now, they're playing the Milwaukee Bucks team, they're basically banged up with Giannis. But the Bucks, 117 points per game, shooting 47.8% from the field and 37% from three. Both teams, whoever the Knicks would play in the second round, given or assuming that they make it past the Cleveland Cavaliers, are shooting the ball really, really well. So if the Knicks continue to shoot the ball the way that they're shooting it, that's going to be a problem as they advance throughout the playoffs. It's going to be a problem. They got to figure out a way to get going offensively. And I know they're playing probably the best defensive team in the league, right? I get it. But they've scored against this team before. You know what I mean? How much of it do you just think is the pressure of the playoffs and the pressure of getting past the first round? Because something that I do believe and that I've been saying is that once the Knicks get past the first round, it's going to be kind of like a monkey off their back, and maybe they're going to ease up a little bit, loosen up a little bit, and hopefully play a little bit better. Doesn't mean that they're going to win everything, but just play better, because now you just, there's just this thing on their back that they haven't won a playoff series in however many years. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this right here just, okay, it's like it opens up the floodgates for them to play better offensively. You know what I mean? With a little bit less pressure.
So to me, Sam, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think this team is thinking about that, what you just said in regards to the monkey off their back and not getting out the first round. I mean, this is a lot of players were on that last team that went to the playoffs a couple years ago. But I don't think this team is feeling the pressure from that. And I don't think playoff pressure is really getting to them. I don't think that's the reason why this team is not shooting the ball great. I think game one, you can easily make that argument, right? Because, playoffs, everyone's hyped for the game, stuff like that. But I think, once you get through game one and game two, you kind of midway to late in the series now, I think all that stuff kind of goes out the window. I think at this point right now, the Knicks just have to keep doing what they're doing. I think the ball eventually will go down in the hoop because they're getting open looks, like you said, right? So I don't think it has anything to do with playoff pressure. I think that's kind of out the window now. What you said up in regards to the monkey on the Knicks back, I think that's more of like the fans, us, right? And realizing that we want to win this series. But for that locker room, I don't think they're thinking about that. I think they just, are missing shots. It's not going in because they've had moments like this throughout the course of the regular season as well, where they haven't been shooting the ball.
Yeah, not to 98 points per game, but
right.
It hasn't been that. But I don't mean to say that they're thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh my gosh, we got to get this first round win, because we haven't had one in years. I don't think you think about it like that. You know what I'm saying? When you're in the midst of it. Afterwards is when that is kind of released. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we finally got it. You know what I'm saying? We got one. You know what I mean? We came into the playoffs and we pulled through a tough series. You know what I'm saying? I think that's when you kind of realize it and it eases some of, the pressure that's, that could be stacked up or built up. In the way that you're feeling about just playing basketball in the playoffs, because it's tough. It's not easy. You know what I mean? And knowing with the way that they performed against the Atlanta Hawks, some of the guys that are there, not that they're thinking about it, but they have it in the back of their mind. They know the way that they played, and that advancing, puts that to rest. Because until they advance, that in the first round, can they even get past the first round, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So, I think somewhere in there they know, it's a big series for them to get past. I just feel like when they do get past it, I think it'll ease some things for them.
Maybe Julius Randle. I would make the argument for him, but I think collectively as a unit, I don't think that they are really thinking about that first round thing. right? I think Julius Randle, because he was here, he was the main guy, hearing all that talk, from way back when. There's a narrative going around right now about Julius Randle's not being a playoff performer. I thought he played well in game one, but for the most part, in every other playoff game he's played in, he hasn't really done that well. So I think specifically to him, I would say that would fit the bill for him. But for the team collectively, I don't think that's what it is. I think this is a team, a new cast of characters together. When you add Hart, when you add Brunson, Hart in his first playoff series, I think Brunson in his second, right? And first time on this team, obviously.
So Brunson in his second playoff series? He's been in more playoffs than that, hasn't he?
Well, I'm just thinking about what he did last year and how great he was. So probably more than that. But
because I think Dallas was in the playoffs before
team,
that.
Yeah, they probably were. They probably were. But his coming out party was last year, right? In the playoffs last year when they got to the Western Conference Finals, right? So, regardless, I still think, with Brunson here and his leadership and Josh Hart in his first playoffs, I don't think the team is really thinking about that first round monkey, so to speak. Individually, Julius Randle, I would make that argument for him specifically because, that narrative is out there for him and he's not playing well this series. So,
yeah. And here's the thing about Julius Randle that I'm happy about, even though he's not playing well this series, is that he's not forcing it.
Yeah.
Right? He's not like, oh my goodness, I got to get something done. I got to do this. I got to do that. I made the All-Star team. The guy that could make the All-NBA team, so I got to get this done and that done. He's not forcing it that way, and he's just playing a team game still. And when he realizes he's not hitting, he's not on, stepping to the side and letting other people do it. I think that's commendable. The Knicks are going to need Julius Randle to show up in these playoffs. That's without a doubt. He's got to show up at some time if they're going to be successful anyway. But the fact that he's willing to let other people, take the mantle, I think is commendable. You know what I'm saying? Until he's ready to take that mantle, I see people upset that he's, that he didn't talk to the media after he had a bad game. The previous game when he only scored 7 points. I don't really care about that. You know what I mean? I mean, what was he going to say? I didn't play well. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. People want to ask him about Obi playing down the stretch of the fourth quarter and this and that. It's not much he can say about it besides play better. That's really all that you can do is play better. You know what I mean? As far as him not speaking to the media, doesn't really matter to me. We won the basketball game. Speak to the players who speak to Obi. He played down the stretch, and that's what they did. But Julius Randle's going to have to step in and perform at some point in time. I don't know if his ass hurts. I don't know if his ankles hurt. You know what I'm saying? But the Knicks are going to need him to perform at some point during this playoff run. And I'm going to get into a couple of things as to the reason why I think he's really struggling against Cleveland, but I just want to know what you think about him performing. Will he perform? What are you expecting from him? What?
Well, listen, Thibodeau did mention, and he did allude to the fact that Julius Randle is our ancient, right? And he also said during one of the press conferences that a lot of players that are that suffered an injury like that towards the late in the season like that, they wouldn't be playing. Particularly, at least in the first two games of the playoffs, they wouldn't be playing, right? So I give Julius Randle a lot of credit for still coming out and playing, right? The thing that I'm kind of confused about is his best game was in game one. So if the injury was really bothering him, why, how can he have a good game in game one and not in the later games in the series? And then what I had to think about was, well, maybe the ankle has gotten worse over time, so that may contribute to it. It's really hard to say. But I think he will step up because Cleveland, if not in this series, definitely next one, because Cleveland, they're going to change up the defense. They have to do something different because what they decide to do is not working. And Knicks countered with that. So I think the Knicks, they're going to throw something different at Julius Randle. I think what the Knicks can do to get him going is to try to find him and get him in favorable matchups, the same way they're doing with Brunson. Try to get Julius Randle in favorable matchups so he can get some easier baskets. And I think that'll get him going a little bit.
Yeah, I think, just to answer your question about him playing well in game one, after 2 weeks of rest, it probably feels good. But then after a little while, right, a few games of put pressure on it, pushing off on it and things, it could start to ache a little bit more because it's not fully healed. I really don't want to hear about injuries as an excuse. If you're out there to play, go for it. you got to ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're not healthy enough to play, don't play. That's just the way that I feel. You know what I mean? I commend people who, try to play through injuries and stuff, but if you're at the point where you're hurting your team, then it's best just not to play. You know what I mean? We don't need we don't need you to be a martyr or a savior or anything like that. Just don't play. Let somebody else play. I think one of the ways that Cleveland is guarding Julius Randle is making it tough for him. It's making it tough for him to get free. Because what they do, Mitch is on the floor. Mitch is not going to shoot the ball. And so Jared Allen can roam. And so anytime Julius Randle gets the ball, especially out on the wing, and he's facing up and looking at the basket, he has Evan Mobley in front of him, and then Jared Allen coming along the baseline to Julius Randle's side. And then you have another guy, another guard, let's say Jalen Brunson is at the top of the key. Then you have another guard sagging in. So there's no lane for Julius Randle to drive, right? What I think, a couple of things you got to do. One, Randle's got to get the ball out of his hands faster. As soon as he recognizes, Jared Allen is along the baseline, this guy's sagging into the paint, I'm not going to get a lane. Get it out your hands, get it moving, right? So that you're not holding the ball for too long. That's one thing. Yeah, it takes away your ability to create for others. It takes away the gravity of him, but it also, slows everything up to where, we're getting a shot up with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Also, use Isaiah Hartenstein. You know what I mean? If it's too much of a problem. Now, if we're scoring, even though it's not Julius Randle, then who cares? It's nothing for you to do. Right? But if you really need Julius Randle to score, you got to find a way to get him some easy looks. Maybe get Isaiah Hartenstein in who can at least spread the floor a little bit. Jared Allen's got to respect it a little bit more. Now he can't roam off of Isaiah Hartenstein. And then this maybe will allow Julius Randle to have a little bit more freedom looking to go to the basket. Also, Randle's got to make quick moves. You can't catch the ball, stand and look. If he's going to go, he's got to get it and go and strike quick. You know what I mean? I think in the game 4, the best move of the night from Julius Randle, either game 3 or 4, I don't remember. When I think it was game 4, the Knicks called a timeout. I believe they were down. Cleveland had made a run. They ran a play. Julius Randle got the ball in the corner and immediately drove to the basket. Jared Allen was still hanging around under the basket, but he spun and then laid it up. Quick move. He didn't think about it. That's what I think Julius Randle's got to do if he's going to get some easy buckets. They got to be quick. He's got to strike quick, strike fast. Don't take time looking around to see where the double teams are coming. Just make a move.
I agree with the whole thing about Julius Randle making quick decisions, but I also think it's who he's out there on the floor with, right? And this was my big concern about the Knicks coming into this season and even last year, right? Mitch stands in the dunker spot, not just to score and get second chance points to get and to score off of missed shots or whatever, but to grab rebounds and to get extra possessions for the Knicks, right? So I agree with you about Hartenstein. Putting Hartenstein on the floor with Randle might help him out a little bit more. It's going to allow Cleveland to change their defense a little bit because, like you said, Allen can't sag off of Hartenstein, right? So I think based on the personnel and the way Cleveland's defending Randle, it's going to make it much more difficult. However, you are correct in regards to Julius Randle making quicker decisions with the basketball. A lot of that has to come from players moving without the ball, which is what I've always been advocating for. People stand around and just watch Julius Randle dribble the ball. Move. You see that teams are shading towards him. Get open. Get in the middle. Knicks did an excellent job of that earlier on in the season when you had RJ cut to the middle, free throw extended, and get to that spot and then make something happen on the inside. Probably find Mitch for an alley-oop or get to the free throw line at least. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see the Knicks do a little bit more of that to help Randle in that regard. But you're absolutely correct. I think Randle definitely needs to make quicker decisions with the basketball. Definitely. No question about that.
Yeah. Still, though, I don't want him to force anything. I don't want him to rush. If he's not getting his shot, just do other things. Rebound the basketball, play good defense, find your open teammates. Clearly, the Knicks have enough to win without
no doubt.
Julius Randle playing his best basketball game. The scary thing right now, though, is if Cleveland gets hot and scores a lot of points, can the Knicks score with them at this point in time right now? Because the Knicks averaging 98 points a game versus this team in the playoffs, while the Cavs are only averaging 94.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? I expect tonight to be another defensive battle. I don't expect much to change. It'll be a defensive battle, physical. I think Cleveland's going to come out and really try to take it to the Knicks. You know what I mean? This is do or die. This is when your back is against the wall, you're backed up into a corner, and you come out and you do anything you got to do to win the basketball game. So this is going to be a grind game for the Knicks. You know what I mean? And so even if Julius Randle isn't scoring, the other way that he impacts the game is going to be important. Using his physicality, banging people around, rebounding the basketball, that's still going to be important.
Do you think that a slow, grinded out game works in the Knicks' favor in this regard? Would you rather see the games played this way, and with low scoring, both teams not shooting that great, both teams giving good defense? Would you rather see the Knicks play in this style of game, or the opposite side of the coin, where a lot of points are being scored, they're knocking down their shots, but so is Cleveland?
Right now, I think this favors the Knicks playing this style of basketball game. I've always felt the Knicks played best in a grind-out game, not to just 98 points, but,
Right.
110, 112, somewhere around there. I thought was a nice sweet spot for the Knicks where they played good defense, still scored enough points. But I would rather them right now, because of the way that this team is shooting, I don't want them to be in the shootout.
Right.
So I'd rather them play in this style of game against the Cleveland Cavaliers than hopefully as they move on to the next round, they find their offense. You know what I'm saying? If the Knicks are going to find it, I think Emmanuel Quickly's got to be part of that.
Oh,
right?
Man.
Emmanuel Quickly's got to get in there and start finding his groove, finding his rhythm. You know what I mean? It's been tough for him. He still has played good defense, I think. He's another one who hasn't forced shots or taken rush shots or anything like that to try to get himself off. He's still played under control, but the Knicks need his production, especially with Josh Hart now moving into the starting lineup because Quentin Grimes is questionable for tonight. The Knicks need Emmanuel Quickly's production off the bench. You know what I'm saying? They need his defense, but they need that production. It's been tough for him.
Yeah, I don't think he's been aggressive enough, in my opinion. I don't think he's been aggressive enough. I think he has played tentative. I'm not going to say scared. I think, I'm not going to say that, but he has not been, aggressive like the way I want him to be aggressive. Emmanuel Quickly is, when sometimes he can go crazy, right, and take crazy shots, but he's done a better job of that this year. But you still have to be aggressive. I think you can take advantage of Quickly's ball handling. You can, the Knicks can use his ball handling in certain situations. I thought when Cleveland first came with the move of putting LeVert on Jalen Brunson, putting Emmanuel Quickly out there, I thought that was an opportunity for him to kind of exploit some of those matchups. And he just has not done it, in my opinion, over dribbling and stuff like that. So be aggressive, IQ. We know you can hoop. You know what I mean? Just, shoot the basketball.
Yeah.
Shoot the ball.
You know what it comes down to? The importance on each possession, I think. And it really makes you as a player think about those possessions. Every time you have the ball, think about those possessions and what am I going to do with it? You know what I mean? And I think IQ is a guy who plays best just playing free. And I agree. He's got to get comfortable enough in the playoffs that he can play free. And I don't think he's reached that level of comfort yet in the playoffs because of the importance of each and every possession when you're in the playoffs. It's kind of, maybe made him like, I ain't taking no wild shot because if I take a wild one or something that's ill-advised, You know what I mean? Coach is going to be hot. So, let me just stay within this little box right here. But IQ can't play that way. IQ can't play that way. That's not who he is. He's got to get comfortable with the playoffs, though. You know what I mean? I think that's a big part of it. Just him getting comfortable. The more the Knicks play in the playoffs, the deeper they go, I think it's going to be the better for IQ. Or the better. It's going to be better for IQ the deeper they go because he gets more and more comfortable in the playoffs and not afraid to just play his basketball game.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying about the playoffs, Sim. Once you get a couple games out the way, then it's like, all right, we in this. You know what I'm saying? And, honestly, for the Knicks offensively, they can't get any worse, in my opinion. I just don't think they could get any worse. You know what I'm saying? So shoot the basketball. Right now, you're up 3-1. I'm not saying, go ahead and just make boneheaded plays, but be aggressive. I think this team is versatile enough to play a slow, grounded out kind of game, and also versatile enough to, get some shots up and score some points. You know what I mean? So you up 3-1. You know what I mean? Cleveland has their backs against the wall, honestly. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that are down and facing the historic 5% of teams that think they can do it, right? The Knicks have that in their favor. So just be aggressive. Be a little bit more aggressive, IQ.
Right. Yeah.
Tibbs ain't going to take you out. I don't think Tibbs going to take you out.
He's not going to take him out. Be aggressive, play your basketball game. Things will loosen up. I think the Knicks have got to start to hit some threes, though.
Yeah.
That'll help loosen things up for everybody, I believe. Because right now, that paint is packed. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody's knocking down threes. The paint is packed, so you can't get inside. All you can do now is, pass the ball around the perimeter and shoot a three. Pass the ball around the perimeter and shoot a three. Hope that you get a steal, get out on a fast break, because it's hard to, penetrate and get inside. The Knicks start to knock down a couple of threes. I think you see that defense loosen up just a little bit. You know what I mean? Now, all of a sudden, Julius Randle can get off a little bit easier. Emmanuel quickly can go to his strength, which is penetrating and shooting up that floater or pulling up a little jump shot. You know what I mean? I think it gets a lot easier for everybody when they loosen up that defense. Got to hit those shots, though. You know what I mean? Got to knock down those threes.
It was my biggest concern going into this series. I know we were, great offensively, but I just didn't think our three-point shooting would hold up, right? Because I don't think the Knicks have the level of shooters that are able to do that, what some other teams are able to do, right? And my biggest concern was how would the Knicks be able to adjust offensively when that's not happening, right? And what's really saved us is our second chance points. But I agree with you. We need to knock down our 3-pointers, but how are we going to be able to start doing that? And to me, I just think we got to play a little bit faster offensively. Play a little bit faster, try to get transition a little bit more. And I think we can be able to start to get into a rhythm and knock the shots down that way. And then from there, I think we'll start hitting threes more consistently to start games. Randall, to start games in first quarters like he was doing at certain parts of the season. You know what I mean? But just right now, we're flat-footed offensively, I would say.
Yeah,
we're very flat-footed.
I would love to see Randall start this game the way that he was starting all season. Would love to see Randall start the game like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get around to RJ, ladies and gentlemen, so don't worry about it. We're going to get to RJ, but Mitchell Robinson has been playing a phenomenal series so far, right? His offensive rebounding has been a savior for this team. Sometimes bad shots that Knicks might take or shots up against the shot clock. Mitch has been able to grab the rebound, get some second chance points for the Knicks. You know what I mean? To me, he's on your show yesterday, you were asking, who's been the X factor. I believe that Mitch has been the X factor for this team because so many times when neither team is scoring and the Knicks can't score, Mitchell Robinson's been able to grab offensive rebounds and put them back. You know what I'm saying? And it's just been a savior for this team until, someone can kind of get going. Usually it's Jalen Brunson. It's been R.J. Barrett who's been able to get going. But Emmanuel quickly's really Mitchell Robinson's really kind of saved the team in some tight situations. He's got to be able to do it tonight, right? I feel like Jared Allen's going to try to be really aggressive tonight. Evan Mobley's going to try to be aggressive tonight. Can Can Mitchell Robinson continue to do what he's been doing tonight?
I believe that he can. But I think we talk about chess pieces and chess moves from the coaches. I think tonight we'll see Cleveland mix stuff up in the front court. I think we'll see less of Allen and Mobley together on the floor. I think they'll be on the floor together. Obviously, they're starters. They're going to be a part of that starting lineup. But I think Bickerstaff is going to do some things to try to mix it up in the front court. And I think that might, I don't know exactly how they're going to throw it at Mitch and how they're going to basically defend him and keep him out the paint. But I think they're going to do something different there. I think they have outplayed their cards from a backcourt perspective, and the front court is where they really need to improve. So I don't know if they'll put Mobley more at the center spot, right? Get Mobley active, guarding Mitchell Robinson or boxing him out. I don't know if they'll just do Allen out there and put Mobley or Harris Levert at the 4. And so many things that the Cavs can do, I think, to continue to try to confuse the Knicks. But I think that's the next place where the Cavs are going to try to mix some things up, and we'll see how Mitch responds to
it. So you think they might go a little smaller?
I think so. I mean, that's the only card they really have left. I think they playing Mobley and Allen together is not really working for them, right? I think they are not. They realize the Knicks are doing things to counteract those bigs in the paint, particularly from a defensive perspective, where they have to guard the Knicks, and Jalen Brunson's taking advantage of those matchups, and the Knicks are doing those types of things. So I think the Cavaliers are going to change it up in the front court a little bit.
I think that's going to benefit Julius Randle if they do so.
And there you go. Those are the chess moves I'm telling you.
Yeah, if they do that, it's going to benefit Julius Randle. You know what I mean? Because I think he can deal with one big guy, long center down there. Two of them, it's tough. Because Julius Randle, he's 6'8", but he's, got short arms for a 6'8" guy. And he never really extends to the basket anyway. He's always kind of, keeping it tight and then double clutches. If they do that, I think it's going to benefit Julius Randle. You know what I mean? Big Bubba, what's popping with you, man? I see, I don't know about this guy, Josh, sometimes. He waits until he gets on the show to decide, oh, maybe I need to close this door back there. He's in the waiting room, has all the time in the world in the waiting room to get everything together. He waits until we put him on the panel where you guys can see him to close the door. But, Big Bubba's going to do what Big Bubba's going to do. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Sim? What's going on, Josh? Shout out to you guys being in the building. Sim, you, Guillermo, Queen, all you guys. I know it was electric.
I wasn't there.
I know, Josh. I know you wasn't there. I know. Shout out to you doing your controversy.
Thank you.
Man, Sim, I am super nervous tonight. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got butterflies in my stomach tonight.
I think everybody is, man.
Because I really want this game to be over, man. I want the Knicks to win. But I do agree with you, Josh. I do think that the one move they haven't done is really go super small, and hopefully that doesn't throw the Knicks off completely. But the Knicks can go small because, honestly, we're a small team. In all honesty, we're really a small team. So I think we can match them. Again, I think tonight, Sim, is going to be a lot of you're going to see Mitchell probably try to get it in early. But I'm honestly really comfortable with him trying to go for 50. I really, really am. God, don't let that bite. Don't let me say that now. I think it's 50. But Sim, you said we talked. I remember the first game we was at Legends, and you said something that stuck with me. We saw what the Cavs did. I think we saw the Cavs. We got hit with their best shot on game 1. Don't get me wrong; they won game 2, but game 1, I mean,
well, game 2 though, I think game 2 is where we probably they played almost all of their cards.
Yeah,
they trapped Jalen Brunson. They inserted Harris Levert into the starting lineup. Right. I think they played a lot of their cards in game 2, and the Knicks, I don't know what else they can do, but, going small might be something that they can try. I don't know what else they can do because the Knicks have responded to everything and have been successful in responding to everything.
Yeah. Sim, I think that's probably one of the things they're going to do tonight. The Knicks have seen everything they've done. I really don't know what else the Cavs can do. As far as something that the Knicks haven't seen yet, or that the Knicks haven't studied yet.
Yeah, I mean,
that the Cavs do.
I mean, they even came out and played super duper. I don't know if they can play any more aggressive than they played in game 2. You know what I'm saying? Without fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
Sim, to be completely honest with what you did tonight, though, Sim, I do see the whistle kind of being swallowed tonight. Pause, and I think the refs are going to let the Cavs be very aggressive tonight. I see that happening tonight. I see them being very aggressive so that the Cavs can, be very physical with the Knicks, and that's why I want the Knicks to play intelligent, man. I want the Knicks to continue doing what they're doing. Again, I think they've been playing really great ball. But I've noticed, man, even yesterday, I'm watching all the games, the elimination games, because a lot of these teams are 3-1. Man, these teams are fighting.
Yeah.
All the 3-1 teams last night, they fought.
Cleveland?
Like, and almost
Yeah.
literally
Cleveland's not
all
going
of them
away
came
early.
down to the wire.
They're not going away easy. It's going to be a battle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a serious battle tonight. It would surprise me if the Knicks blew them out or if the Knicks won by double digits. It would really surprise me, and that would tell me that maybe they came out with fight, seen that the Knicks was going to stand up to them, and then laid down and gave up. I don't see that happening with this team, though.
Yeah, Sim, to be honest, I'm thinking about it last night. I'm thinking the Clippers put up a fight. The T-Wolves put up a fight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got Atlanta.
Won. The Hawks won.
The Hawks won. So again, this is not like you said, Sim. I would be shocked if the Knicks blew them out. I expect this Sim to go fourth quarter overtime. I'm expecting that tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting 1 point game.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
too.
expecting
Me
tonight.
too. I just hope we don't have anybody else come out injured.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We can't afford to have anybody else come out injured. You know what I mean? Because we got to get through this series and then look forward to whoever we play next. But
I'm not even worried about that.
It's going to be a battle. No, I'm just saying it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a tough one.
Yes, it's gonna be a battle to close these teams out, man. But I think that I really do believe the Knicks can do it. Like I said, I think tonight. Listen, I'm gonna say this right now, son. I want everybody to calm down in the first quarter because I fully expect the Cavs to punch first. I expect the Cavs to punch first and punch hard, and I just want people to relax in the first quarter. To me, unless it's like, Sim, honestly, unless it's like we got 10 points and the Cavs got like 30 points or something like that, relax. Relax, everybody, because I can see it now, Sim. Yo, what the Knicks do? Listen, if it's a close game, that's fine. But like I said, if it's as long as it's not, we got like 9 points and they got 35 or 30-something points, relax, everybody. It's going to be a long game tonight.
It's going to be a long one.
Like I said in game 2 or after game 2, lose or win by 30, lose or win by 1. It only counts as one game, right? So, I'm not whatever outcome tonight. Whether the Knicks win by a lot, win by a little bit, Cavs win by a lot or win by a little bit, it's only going to count as one particular game, right? So
statistically, it only counts as one game.
That's what I mean in the series perspective.
In the series, but emotionally, that could bother people.
Right. Well, it didn't bother the Knicks in it came back and won game 3.
No, I'm just saying people always say that, win by this, lose by this, but emotionally, those type of wins or losses bothers you. Trust me, I've been there. I've lost games by 60, and I've lost by 30, and known, we can't beat that team. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean it's like this in this series because the Knicks have obviously won games. So,
right.
And
the Knicks are a resilient bunch. That's the point that I've been saying the whole season. They're resilient. Like, you think the Knicks are going to be losing, the next game, or you think the Knicks are not going to, do well in a particular game when they come out and they storm them, right? They're just a resilient bunch of players. So I don't think that something like that would affect the Knicks as emotionally as it would for others, because I think the team collectively is a resilient bunch. So, we'll see. I'm not holding too much stock in this game. Hopefully the Knicks pull it out and close and win the game, so then we can just worry about the next series. But, we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with you. Parrish Duggar, man, thank you for the super chat. He said Julius Randle is affected by injury. You know, you take set shots when injured. You lose game speed when injured. You play carefully and slower when you return. It takes time. I mean, my thing is this. I'll say it again. You know, if you're injured to the point where you're going to hurt your basketball team, it's best for you not to play. You know what I mean? You know, and no one's going to question your toughness about it. And I'm not saying that's what it is with Julius Randle. You know, I don't think Julius Randle would sit here and say, yeah, I'm injured. That's why I'm not playing well. I don't. I think he would just look at it and say, hey, you know, I'm injured like anybody else. Everybody's nicked up. You know what I mean? Randle's just got to play better. If you're going to play when you're injured, and to his credit, he's done it. Right? He's stepped to the side. If this is the reason that he's injured, you know what I mean? He stepped to the side and let others take over, you know, without wanting to be the guy and trying to force shots and do things like that. You know, let's see. He's had a couple of days rest. I mean, I believe Julius Randle's going to come back. You know, maybe is it in this series? I don't know. But I believe Julius Randle will rebound and come back. But, you know, I, for one, personally don't want to hear the injury thing because I just feel like if you're out there on the floor, you can go, right?
No
You go. You know what I'm saying? And if you're too injured to be a benefit to your team, then sit down. You know what I mean?
And Sim, I want to say one thing, and this is defending Julius Randle. Even though he had a bad game last on Sunday, he had one of the biggest plays of the game. That block on Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, he did.
That was a huge block. Look, am I a little worried about Randle? Yes, because he hasn't really besides one game, the offensive hasn't really been there, and to be honest with you, the defense has been a lot to be desired. Especially game 4, that was just it was to a point he was just letting guys blow by. He was letting Isaac Okoro blow by him. But I do have faith in Randle. I think he's going to come out much better tonight. I think he had, like you said, a couple of days rest. And, I was just reading the practice reports. Seems in good spirit. He's okay. He just wants to win. So, again, I think Randle will be fine. We got to just trust what we've been doing. We've been winning, and right now, Sim, to be really honest with you, this has been so great for Obi Toppin. And this is a guy that's not the biggest fan of Obi Toppin. I like him as a person, but I've been made it very clear that he wasn't the right pick for the Knicks. But look how he's shutting a lot of people up, shutting me up, because he was a big factor in us winning on Sunday.
Yeah, he was.
So this is great confidence for him because
8 rebounds, the highest rebound total he had all season long.
Seriously, man, and it's coming at the right time. And this is also just a credit to some. You're gonna like this part. This is why we're the fans and the coach is a coach. When it doesn't make sense here and now, well, it doesn't make sense back then. We're like, yo, what are we doing? Why is this, and this, and this player's doing this? And then you see now, Sim, honestly, you can trust anybody to go on the court for the Knicks right now in playoff time, and they'll be fine.
For the most part. For the most part.
Seriously, for the most part. And it hit me, Sim, on Sunday where I'm like, wow, this is why coaches coach. Because for him to have trust in McBride, for him to have trust in all these guys that we questioned all season long, he sees it. And, I'm honestly comfortable with whoever he puts in the rotation right now, honestly. So, credit to Thibs and credit to Obi, credit to all these guys, man. They're doing an amazing job. Like you said, but tonight we gotta do what we gotta do. And like I said, I want to end this today, to be honest with you. I don't want to go back to the Garden. I want to end this today because I'm gonna be anxious already. I'm already anxious now. Anxious for game 6, where it's like, to be fair, and I don't want to talk like this, but if we don't win game 6, then but we're not gonna talk like that.
Come on now. Come on now. Let's get it tonight. Let's get it tonight. I think Obi, one of the reasons that Obi is, he's having an effect offensively and defensively, grabbing rebounds and things, but offensively, he's been decent hitting the 3 ball. You know what I mean? And he's right now in this series more of a threat from the three than Randall is. So that opens it up for other people to be able to penetrate a little bit. Jalen Brunson, without having so many people around him, RJ Barrett, to be able to get into the lane. So Obi's definitely at least proved something to people this playoff series. And we'll see if he can continue to do it. But you're right. Towards the end of the season, when the Knicks had to go with Obi because Julius Randle was out, I'm sure Tom Thibodeau bought some trust, or he built some trust into Obi, to say, you know what, I can go with this guy. I'm not worried about it. I think I know what he can do. You know what I mean? And throughout the season with so many injuries that the Knicks had, not as many as other teams, but, still some significant injuries. RJ out for a while, Brunson out. You got to see what these guys, you got to see guys step up and be able to perform, play defense, run the offense, score the ball, rebound the ball, do these type of things. And it buys trust. You know what I mean? Your coach now trusts you and can put you out there in tight situations. So, the Knicks bench, there was a point in time this season where I think most of us thought the Knicks, man, we don't have a bench. Our bench is terrible. Right? Like late December into January, it was like our bench was terrible. As we got healthy, our bench got better. The addition of Josh Hart added to the bench. And now, we got a really, really strong bench. And our bench has been, really kind of the catalyst to the Knicks winning this series. Jalen Brunson in the bench.
Sim, I'm going to be honest with you, Sim. First of all, I want, you're going to like this too, Sim. Knicks fans can stop the rumors of Thibs not liking Obi Toppin. We can stop those rumors now. But you're absolutely right, Sim. Me personally, I think the Knicks have the top three benches in the playoffs right now. I think it's us, the Lakers, and the Celtics. I think those three teams have the best benches right now in the playoffs. We're doing it, man. We have, to me, a complete 9-man rotation when it comes to what we play and who we are. So this is big, man. Like I said, listen, again, Sim, I have not liked Obi. I haven't liked Obi since we drafted him. And again, he's shutting me up. He's doing what we got to do, and he's been a great positive factor on this team. Yeah. And that's, to me, the Thibs for trusting him, believing in him, and liking him. And, just the coaching staff when it comes to Johnny Bryan and all those guys and the development. It's funny, Sim, no one ever gives credit to Thibs for developing these players because he doesn't have the quote-unquote development coach over his head. But, I mean, if you look at quickly from year 1 to year 4, I mean, it's night and day. You look at Obi Toppin. I mean, Obi Toppin, so just look at what he's doing now versus there was points in a couple seasons where I didn't know what he was doing on the floor. He has purpose now.
Yeah.
So again, this goes to coaching, man, and this goes to what Thibs has just been doing for this team.
Yeah, I mean he's done a great job in the playoff series so far. RJ Barrett has been a catalyst. You know what I mean? I know Gmo is happy about that. He feels really, really good. He feels really, really good that RJ is having the at least the last 2 games doing what he's doing. I actually think RJ is going to continue tonight. You know what I mean? And may even have another big game.
Had to reappear again.
He may even have another big game tonight from RJ. You know what I'm saying? I think his confidence is high. I think he's feeling good. I think he's, kind of figured out where within this defense he can strike. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking that RJ can have another big game tonight. What do you think, Josh?
So about RJ, early on in the series, Cleveland did not respect his 3-point shot. They didn't respect it at all whatsoever. That's why they took LeVert off of him, put LeVert onto Jalen Brunson, right? But when RJ started getting going and got a couple buckets in transition, Mick saved the ball from going out of bounds, kicked it out to RJ. He knocked his first 3 down. I think that was it. That was the spark that RJ needed to start being more effective in the half court. So I think he is riding a high of confidence right now. I think he's been playing well. And in the absence of Randall playing well, RJ has been able to fill in that void and give us some meaningful points. So kudos to him. I think he continues it and keeps it going. And the Knicks are going to need somebody else because Quickly's not doing it either, right? So they're going to need somebody else to step up and knock some shots down. And I think RJ is playing well right now, and hopefully he can get to continue to do that. And most importantly, being able to continue to shoot better from the 3-point line.
Yeah. Isaiah, RJ.
Man, Sam, this series has maybe had so many emotions with RJ Barrett, man. You know, first 2 games, I was just like, man, this it really was a point, Sam. I'm like, whew, are we going to have to trade RJ during the offseason, man? Yeah, Josh, I know. Josh's going to like that one.
We talk about trading players during the playoffs.
It was bad, man. But you know what, man? That's a testament to RJ, him studying, him being, you know, just the player that he is. And to me, I call it the Eli Manning face. The Eli Manning face is so legendary that you didn't know if Eli Manning threw a touchdown or threw an interception. He kept the same face, and RJ does the same thing. Honestly, when he plays, he keeps the same face. Pretty, you know, he's pretty mellow. Doesn't get too emotional. Doesn't get too down on himself, and he just keeps putting in the work. And you see that, and you see the studying he does on the floor against the Cavs. I see it. He's been great. To me, right, for us to win tonight, we don't need him to have 26, 20, 30 points. He continues doing what he's doing. Because we did great. We blew him out when he had 19 points. So as long as RJ keep doing what he's doing, the defense, to me, also his defense has been great. We've killed RJ.
It's been much better. It's been much better.
We've killed RJ all season, rightfully so. His defense was not good this season. It really wasn't. But his defense this series, it's been good.
Mm-hmm.
And you right now, to me, you couldn't ask for more the way he's been guarding Garland and handling those guys. You know, because we always say about RJ, he doesn't do good against those fast, twitchy guards. I'm not saying Garland's a twitchy guard, but you know he's crafty. So RJ's been doing a fantastic job. I just want RJ to continue what he's doing. The sky's the limit for this kid, man.
I mean,
the
good thing is, you know, that's the reason why in the playoffs defenses pick up, because you have a chance to study just that team. You know what I'm saying? During the regular season, you know, you play one team and then, you know, you're on your way to play another team and another team and another team for the most part. You know, when you play one team 4 games straight, you really have a chance to adjust, figure out those players' tendencies, figure out how you're going to counteract those players' tendencies, all of those things. You know what I mean? And if you have someone who really does pay attention to video and study film, check out all the breakdowns that the coaching staff gives them about that player, you know, you should get better defensively because you have so many tools at your disposal to use when you're playing against that person. You should get better defensively, and he's done that. You know what I mean?
Sim, I think RJ's played better defensively, but Cleveland, just like us, both teams, we've both missed a ton of wide open shots, right? And I'm not taking anything away from RJ. I know this is a conversation specifically about him, right? He has played well or better defensively, I would say, right? But you know, I don't want to say shut down Darius Garland. Darius Garland missed a ton of open shots, but when Darius Garland started getting going, you know, it was hard to stop him from scoring as well, right? So I think, you know, RJ continue doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? You have improved defensively. Offensively, you have improved a little bit. You know, I'm not expecting him to go for 30 either. You know what I'm saying? What he's giving us is fine right now. And this is something that I think if he was more consistent with throughout the course of the season, I don't think a lot of us will have this discourse about him. But right now it's working. Hopefully he can keep that up and continue throughout his playoffs. And, you know, if he comes up big for us tonight, you know, that's huge. Close the series.
You know, performing well in the playoffs can help you with that consistency during the regular season. You know what I mean? You know, you perform well in the playoffs. One, you know, your confidence is boosted. You know, and it'll improve your overall level of play, I believe. Especially the deeper you go in the playoffs and you continue to play good basketball. You know, you're gonna feel like, hey, yeah, I can play with anybody. And when you get in the playoffs, the defense is there's so much scouting and pinpointing of a player and their weaknesses that you're going to know what your weaknesses are. If you didn't, you will when you get into the playoffs. You're going to know exactly where you need to focus. You know what I mean? So I think it'll help all of our players as they go into the off season and start their developmental regimens and things like that after the Knicks, keep advancing in the playoffs, of course. You know what I mean? But once that time comes, whenever it comes, it's going to help these guys for the regular season, for next season, in my opinion.
Well, hopefully he is more consistent next year. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But, right now, he's been consistent over the last 2 games. Well, he's been good over the last 2 games. Let's see if he can be consistent going into tonight's game.
There
you know
you
what
go.
I'm saying?
There you go, son. That's
see if he can do that. If he could do that, I think he gives the Knicks a big chance to win. I felt from the beginning of the series that if RJ played well, the Knicks were way better than this team. You know what I mean? Now, I didn't account for Julius Randle not playing well. If the Knicks can get Brunson, RJ, and Randle to all play well on the same night, and if that night is tonight, I don't think the Cavs would have a chance if all those guys can play well. It's going to be tough for that to happen because a good defensive team is going to take out somebody. That's why you got to have people that can step up and really play because a good defensive team, they're going to be successful in taking somebody out. Donovan Mitchell had 11 points last game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
No way I expect him to have to do that.
Not even
again.
Close.
No way that's going to happen.
Close.
Right.
You're going to have 11 points in the first quarter.
First quarter, first 5 minutes of the first quarter, probably.
Sim, I'm not going to lie to you, Sim. I expect Donovan Mitchell to. He might be going for 40. He might going to get 40 tonight.
I'm expecting Donovan Mitchell to try to go off. Not even that he just wants to be a ball hog or anything like that, but if he's putting it on his shoulders and says, this is my responsibility, he's going to try to go off.
The Knicks have been, my bad, son. The Knicks have been doing a good job defending him by, sending that big, hedging him. He's always has 2 bodies in his face. It's really hard for him to go north and south. He's always been going east and west. He loves that pull-up 3-point shot. You know what I mean? The Knicks have done a good job of taking that away. And with all the crowd that the Knicks do in the paint, it's really hard for him to score in the paint. So I think if Donovan Mitchell focuses more on going north and south, getting to the rim earlier, I think that'll get his game going real quick. And I think that'll allow the Knicks to start backing off of him a little bit. And then once they do that, that'll open up his 3-point shot. But so far, they've been doing a good job defending him. But yeah, I agree. I don't think he's going to go for 11 points again. I think he'll score at least 25 tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Knicks have done a really good job, rushing him when he's coming off of a screen.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And making him have to, he's got to figure out, okay, am I going to be able to turn the corner? Am I going to split in between? And the Knicks did a lot more that last game. Donovan Mitchell was talking about it, right? How the Knicks did a lot more trapping, and I'm sure Cleveland is going to try to figure out, okay, what do we got to do to counteract the Knicks trapping Donovan Mitchell the same way the Knicks had to do that for Jalen Brunson. So they're going to try to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks, I don't know if they show it right from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because if you show it right from the beginning and they figure it out from the beginning, now you have nothing to go to. They may wait for a little while before they show it. But you don't want you don't want to give Donovan Mitchell that 3 off the dribble. So you got to stay tight, fight over screens. You know what I'm saying? When he gets into the paint and he rises up, I love what Hartenstein's been doing. When Donovan Mitchell gets in there and tries to dunk on him, Hartenstein is like, whatever, I'm going up with you. Foul you or not, I'm going up with you. I'm not going to let you dunk it. You know what I'm saying? I think the Knicks need to keep doing that. Be aggressive, man. You go up with him and you put him on the floor, so what? He just goes on the floor. Don't let him get one of those off because now you get the crowd into it, energy in the building. You know what I mean? You don't want that to happen. And I'm pretty sure he's going to try once or twice to get down the lane and bang on somebody, and I want to see his ass on the floor when that happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want just the same way Jared Allen did that to Julius Randle, I want him to do the same thing to Donovan Mitchell. Friends or not.
Yeah. So I want this again. This to me is going to be this is going to be probably the most physical game. This is going to be the most physical game of the series. Tonight is they're going to let it. I think they're going to let it fly because they just know this is an elimination game for the Cavs, and they're going to let the Cavs give it their best shot. And I think the Knicks are just going to punch back. For me, Sim, when it comes to Donovan Mitchell, man, I said it before. I'm gonna say it again. I'd rather Donovan Mitchell go for 40 because we can win. We've seen it. He scored 38 and they still lost. I just wanted to continue playing the defense they've been playing on Garland. To me, Garland is the reason why they'll win this game. Think about it, Sim. When they blew us out, Garland had a great game. Garland had like 26 points. To me, it's control of Garland. When they came back in that third quarter in Sunday's game, Darius Garland. We got to control Darius Garland.
I agree.
We have to guard Darius Garland. That's the guy that's been helping them win these games. And not saying that Donovan Mitchell hasn't.
Win one game.
Well, win one game. Let me make that clear.
Yeah.
But we have to. Me personally, Donovan Mitchell's superstar. He's going to get his points. It was great that he didn't score crazy. It was really great. But I want to focus on Darius Garland like we've been doing. Make him uncomfortable. Because after Donovan Mitchell on that team, you're hoping for Chris LeVert to have a great game. That's what you're hoping for if you're the Cavs.
I mean, I think the Knicks have done okay against Garland. He's had a couple of moments, but they've done okay against Garland. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying that's to me has been the key to why the Knicks have been winning. Okay. Is that we've been playing good on Garland. Because like I said before, after Garland, I mean you actually Karis LeVert to be a third option. That's where it's like, okay. And then I'm more comfortable with that. You know what I mean? So I just want the Knicks to continue doing what they're doing. Like I said, Donovan Mitchell, like you said, he might end up scoring 11 points in 5 minutes in the beginning of the game. And you know what? You got to just take that and be like, this is who he is. So, man, Sim, I'm just anxious, man, because I just want to see how this game is going to start off. I just want to see how this game plays, man. I am, Sim, because I just want to see. You know what I'm curious about, Sim? I want to see how the refs are going to call it. I want to see what they're going to do. Are they going to be more ticky-tacky with us, or are they going to let? Because to me, game 2, they let Cleveland just be as physical as they wanted.
Well, Cleveland said that's what they were going to do, right? They said that they were going to come out and play physical and then let the referees either let them go or push them back and stop them from being physical. So we'll see how the referees let it go. I think it's going to be a physical game, and the Knicks, I think they know it's going to be a physical game, so they'll be ready for it.
Yeah. Also, Sim, for the love of God, Knicks, please hit your free throws. Hit your free throws. It's been an Achilles heel, and thank God it hasn't truly bit us in the butt this season so far in this series. But man, you're talking about game 4. We would have blew them out if we would have hit our free throws. Hit your free throws, guys. Like seriously, hit your free throws. I don't want to leave nothing on the table tonight.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But the only thing I'll say about the free throw thing is, the tougher the defense, the more physical the game, the tougher the free throws, and the Knicks already haven't been a good free throw shooting team. You know what I mean? So, I agree with you. They need to hit those free throws, and hopefully we have a good night from the free throw line, because there's a good chance both teams are going to be over the limit early. Guy's going to be on the line, but we'll see, ladies and gentlemen. 7 o'clock, the Knicks take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's on NBA TV. Also should be on MSG. It's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a fun one, And I don't know how Knicks fans gonna react if we win. They're gonna be going crazy. They already, people already been climbing on light poles and doing all kinds of wild stuff out in front of MSG. The Knicks win tonight and eliminate the Cavs. Who knows what people are gonna do? But we got a chance to do it tonight. Josh, your prediction for the night?
I think both teams shoot better. I think Cleveland goes small. I think that's the move they're going to try to employ out there. I think both teams go small. I think Cleveland, I know Isaiah just said they don't really have anybody else, but I think there's going to be somebody, I think Dean Wade or somebody else on Cleveland that's going to be able to knock down 3-point shots. And the Knicks I think they're going to give up a little bit too many tonight. And I think we fall. And I think we go back to the Garden to close it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think Randall plays better. I think Randall shoots better as well.
Yeah.
In the first quarter.
All right, Isaiah.
So I really do expect Cleveland to come out punches in the mouth first quarter. I think it's going to be we're going to get punched in the mouth first quarter. We're going to be down a little bit. I think we're going to readjust in the second half. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think this game is going to go to overtime. And I got it going. I'm going to do 106 to 102 Knicks overtime. I do think Randall's going to play better. But I think it's going to be a decisive battle. But I think the Knicks are going to edge them out in this series tonight. I think the Knicks do not want to go back home and play in MSG. It's in their back pocket, but I think they just want to end it tonight. So 106, 102 overtime, Knicks win.
Okay.
116, 108 regulation. Cleveland.
Okay. I think the Knicks going to win tonight. I do think it's going to be Cleveland, like you're saying, Isaiah. Cleveland's going to come in and really try to take control of the game. But I think at a certain point, the Knicks are still going to be there, and they're going to realize we're going to beat them. Cleveland's going to realize we're not as good as them. And I think the Knicks will take control of the basketball game. You know what I mean? Not saying that Cleveland's going to give up, but somewhere in their mind, they're going to know it, I think. That's what I think. But we'll see. But I think the Knicks finish it off tonight. You know what I mean? I don't think that they are looking at it like we're up 3-1. We need to, we can breathe a little bit. I think they're looking at it with a sense of desperation too, because, being up 3-1 puts a little bit of pressure on you and a target on your back to get this done. So I think, they want to get it done tonight. It'd be nice to finish it at the Garden. So, you got the home court celebration, but I don't care. I want to get it done now.
Yeah, I want this.
This
done now. I don't want to play no games, man.
Me too.
Get it done now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate your time. And we'll see what happens with the Knicks tonight, folks. 7 p.m. And I'll see you on the post-game show. We out. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.